Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this FlaskUp.com Mr. Pandaria raiding guide. And in this video we're going to be taking a look at the heroic mode version of General Nazgrim in the Siege of Orgrimmar raid. Now in order to complete this fight you're going to want to bring 2 tanks, 2 healers, and then the remaining a mixture of both melee and ranged DPS. However, it is worth noting that ranged DPS might be slightly favoured in this fight. Now in this guide we are going to be looking at the new heroic abilities that you will have to deal with, and we're not really going to focus too much on the normal mode abilities because they've not changed in any way at all. I think some people would go as far to say that this is one of the easier heroics in the Siege of Orgrimmar raid, so if you do feel like you're struggling with the harder ones, then maybe you could skip them and go on to try and kill General Nazgrim. Now he's got 2 new abilities that you'll have to deal with, and one of them is a new ad that you'll have to take care of, and the second one is a ability that your tanks will have to be aware of, and your healers as well, I guess, because it's quite a hard hitter. Now the first new ability is called Execute, and this is what your tanks are going to have to look out for, as it will execute his current target for 3 million physical damage. Boy, what a number that is. Lovely number, isn't it? And this attack will also pierce any form of immunities, and it can't be dodged, blocked or parried. So you need to rely on your armor in order to make sure you are not going to get one shot during this fight. There is no ideal way to deal with this ability. It's kind of just, okay, my tank's going to get hit by Execute, I need to make sure we heal him up as fast as possible, and then wait for it to hit him again, and then heal him up again, and then hit again, and then heal up yet again. But what you do need to keep in mind is the Sundering Blow debuff that is also placed on your tanks from the normal mode version of the fight, which has moved across to the heroic fight. And this is a stacking debuff that will reduce their armor by 10% for 30 seconds. So you don't want to let this stack too high. Maybe 2, possibly 3 stacks of Sundering Blow at max is all your tanks want to be taking, as Execute will then one-shot them any further on after that. Again, that does depend on their current armor levels and such, but that's for you to work out and kind of look at your numbers and think whether or not they're going to die. Now Execute can be cast quite frequently. I think at sometimes our tanks were getting hit with them maybe once every 10 seconds or something like that, but it doesn't seem to kind of have a fixed timer on it. It's just when the boss feels like it, so you do want to make sure your tanks are topped up at all times, and any cooldowns are readily available for if the tank's going to take an Execute hit and isn't, say, on full health, or has somehow managed to gain 4 stacks of Sundering Blow because Vengeance. Now the second new thing that you're going to have to deal with in this fight isn't an ability, it's an ad with a set of abilities. And it doesn't throw too much of a bee in your bonnet, it's kind of fairly simple to work with, and this new ad is called a Cochrane Sniper. Now when these snipers spawn, they will fixate on a non-tank target, and we found that they tend to kind of preference the healers, but they will go for the DPS as well. So healers be alert for them, but DPS kind of be aware of where they're going at the same time. Now when these snipers fixate on players, they will randomly shoot them, inflicting 100% of their weapon damage. This is quite a bit of damage, so you need to make sure that the people that are fixated on do have some form of a personal cooldown, or any cooldowns available from healers for if they do start to take intense amounts of damage. They also have another ability called Multi-Shot, and this will cause them to fire a volley of arrows within a 40-yard cone, and this will inflict 400,000 physical damage to anyone that gets hit by it. So because of this ability, what you want to make sure is happening is that the person that gets fixated on by the sniper moves away from the rest of the raid, and the sniper will follow them, and then they're kind of segregated away from the raid, and they're not going to be causing unnecessary damage to other people. You do also need to be aware of people that are getting fixated on that might also have the Bone Cracker debuff, because this will reduce their maximum health by 10% and also cause a bleed effect on them, which does tick quite a little bit harder in heroic mode. So if you've got the Bone Cracker debuff and you're fixated by a sniper, as well as everything else that's going on in the fight, you might need to use a personal cooldown or call for a healer cooldown if needed. Other than that, the sniper isn't really your main priority for killing, as the damage he deals can be healed through. You want to make sure you're killing off all the other ads, and then I'd say possibly preference the sniper before killing off any iron blades that are up. Now on the subject of the adds, the kill order for them does pretty much stay the same as the normal mode, however you do need to incorporate the sniper as well. So the kind of priority list that we used for them was the War Shaman has to die first, and at all times you make sure the Shaman does not come into range with General Nazgrim, because there is a certain chance that he could heal him if he does get in range. Then you want to kill off the Archweavers, then you want to kill off the Assassins, then you want to kill off the Snipers, and then you want to kill off the Iron Blades. It's probably also worth noting that these adds will deal quite a bit more damage to players with their significant spells, so you need to make sure you are avoiding them / dealing with them a lot better than you might have been in the normal mode. The Assassins in particular, because they can really hurt and potentially one-shot people if not dealt with correctly. It's probably also worth noting that throughout the fight you will get 10 waves of adds no matter what, and then when General Nazgrim reaches 10% remaining health, he will also call in an additional wave of adds. So when you're reaching 10% health and you may have had, say, 8 waves of adds go through, you might want to just hold off on the DPS so that the final 2 waves can go through, and you can then push the boss to 10% and then Bloodlust and nuke him off while ignoring the last wave of adds that is going to spawn when you do hit 10%. This means that if you do hit 10% and you've still say got another wave of adds to come just from the fight in general, you could potentially get 2 waves of adds at the same time, which means you wouldn't be able to just focus on the boss and burn him at 10%. Instead, you'd have to switch to the adds and deal with them, because the chances are they would deal a lot of damage to your raid, and it'd probably cause some problems and maybe even wipes. It's just all about managing the adds and making sure you're not kind of, oh my god, panic, and you just deal with them in the correct manner, get rid of them all, and then kill the boss. So that's going to do it for this Mr. Pandaria raiding guide, and if you would like to view a written version of this guide, then please do head on over to flaskup.com or click on the link in the video description below. Alternatively, if you'd like to view any of our other heroic mode raiding guides, then please do click on the annotations that are on screen now. As always, thank you for watching, and if you are interested in future Mr. Pandaria / Warlords of Draenor, when that comes out, raiding guides, then please do feel free to subscribe to the channel.